What up? This is Robert Horry.
Or three-pointer. Buries it!
You might know me as Big Shot Bob.
To Horry for three. Oh, unbelievable. This guy is off the charts.
What's going on, Big Shot Bob?
Robert Horry from downtown.
Robert Horry from way downtown.
You mean way down country?
Way down country town. It is the Big Shot Bob podcast. B-Dog Brandon Harper. I'm Rob Jenners. Live from Andalusia, Alabama. 7-time NBA champion Robert Horry. At Mama's house.
Hey, I started to go down to the park that's named after me and set up a table.
Hold up. You got a park in Andalusia?
Yeah.
You got Robert Horry Park?
Man,
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that.
Yeah, and I have a street named after me, too.
You have a street named after you?
Yeah, the street that the park's on, but the street is only about, let me see, probably about
like
maybe
200 feet.
100 yards.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of a street, but dude, a street's a street, man. You take it.
Yeah, it's the street I grew up on, and played, and it was a park down there where we used to go play all the time, and the little lady, I think I told you a story with a lady at the park. Her house was right next to the park. She started out hating me because I was bouncing the ball so much. To start out to like, yo, that ain't gonna be good enough to go to Alabama to being on my side.
You did tell us that. You did tell us the story about the lady that was shit talking you from the corner of the park. Yes.
Yeah.
So what's the street? Is it Robert Horry Place or Boulevard, or what is it? Robert Horry Court, or what is it?
Come on now, this is the country. It ain't Boulevard. It's just street.
It's just Robert Horry Street. Ain't no Boulevard in Andalusia, Alabama. What are you talking about?
It ain't no place. It ain't them lanes.
Ain't all of a sudden your white man can't jump. It ain't no view. Ain't no vista. No damn view.
It's either street or road. Ain't no lane.
Yeah, dirt path. Yeah, Robert Horry path. So what are you doing at Mama's house, man? Checking in, keeping up on her?
Just came to check on her. You know, I don't get this way much, so this is the one time in my schedule where I just had a week where I said, you know what, I'm just going to check on Mom, spend some time with her, make sure everything at the house is working right.
Good.
And of course, the internet's finally working right. And the TVs she got new TVs everywhere, so she complained about the remote. So it's a process.
Nothing better than when you have to do tech support for your parents.
and you're not a tech person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and you don't, like, the internet at your house don't work. So what are you supposed to do?
Exactly.
Well, in their eyes, you are, because you may know a little bit more than them. So you know even the slightest bit more than they do.
Yeah.
You're tech savvy.
Exactly right. Yeah. You know how to make the menu go to the TV. You are basically Steve Jobs.
So she has this computer in the office, and she's like, it don't work anymore. I go and hit a button. She's like, how'd you do that? I'm like, Mom, I just told you I'm going to have to write down what to do. Hit the, you know how now Apple comes up as you have to, like a login screen.
Yeah.
We never gave her a code to get in, so I just hit enter, and she thinks she keep trying to put in a password, and I'm like, no, it's not a password, just hit enter. And she was like, oh shit. I keep forgetting that. So I'm making out little notes, little stickies. I got sticky pads. I'm making sticky pad notes for her.
That's funny. Yeah, my parents think I'm a tech genius because I turn things off and turn them back on, and all of a sudden they work again. And I'm like, that's all you got to do half the time is turn it off, turn it back on. They're like, how'd you do that? I'm like, literally, I hit the off button. Like, there's no magic formula here. All right.
The biggest key is patience for our parents. As they get older, their patience is thin.
Well, and here's the thing too. I know it's going to happen because it's going to happen to us. It's kind of probably already started to happen to us, where technology has kind of started to come back around on us. Like, we were super tech savvy and we were smart because we knew how to use computers and Facebook and all that. And now my daughter can edit like full video on her phone. And I don't know how she does it. And I'm like, oh shit. Now we're starting to hit the age where she's going to know how to do stuff that I don't know how to do. And I'm going to be asking her for help.
It's like last time I asked you guys about what is something. What was the last show we did? I was asking about something about some AI thing on everybody's phone now.
Oh, ChatGPT.
Yeah. I can't believe you don't use ChatGPT. That like messes my brain up, man. That you ain't even heard of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Like, at least people have heard, but no, it's super helpful. I've been using it to create games for the show, which is actually this week's game, which is called Us Against the World, I think, or Us versus Everybody. So this should be a fun game, and it comes down to a stat that I saw this week, which was pretty wild. Okay. But we'll have fun with that. Do you want a couple things going on that I think we need to touch on this week, and we have some audio to get to. I want to get to this Jeff Teague stuff too in a minute because that was kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But, I wanted to throw this out at the top just because I thought it was a little weird. So, all the rumors around Luka right now. And for starters, by the way, dude looks good. Yeah. Like, he looks in shape. Did you see the, Men's Health? He's on the cover of? I'm like, it's like he looks like a totally different person. But there's a Slovenian news site that made that, of all places, that made a claim that he's already agreed to his extension. $229 million extension with the Lakers.
So he did take the 4-year instead of the 3-year.
This is according to them. I don't even know how much of this is true. I'm going to give you the quote real quick when we talk about it. Quote, "The American media speculated that Luka, who's been sculpting his body in recent weeks, might be delayed signing a new contract since September. There were even hints that he might wait until next summer when he would be a completely free player and available to all clubs, but it seems the uncertainty will soon be over. Doncic is said to have agreed to a 4-year extension worth $229 million US. This is from a Slovenian news organization, for what it's worth.
Well, I mean, I can't discredit them. It's something about those outlets out there because there is such a close-knit community, or what it seems like a close-knit community.
Yeah.
They may know some things over there that we don't know over here yet. When it comes to whether it comes to Luka, or whether it comes to Joker. Like, if they have it over there, I can't discredit it. They just may know something that we don't know over here yet. So that could be true. It's just waiting for it to get over here, because he has been over there. That's where he's been exercising. He's been over there.
No, so they may have been training here.
I thought he went over to Europe.
He went there and then he came back. He's been training here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So, but here's the thing: is I guarantee you, he telling one of his boys to get a little money, probably leak the source. So yeah, I'm still interested. People keep talking about the body. I don't give a shit how your body look. It's about what you do on the damn court. You know how many guys change their body throughout the history of basketball, and they careers and games stayed the same. So it's better for him as far as health wise and staying on the floor. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it ain't what he can do offensively. It's what he can do defensively. Right. And so, hopefully losing that weight allow you to move those puppies a little more to stay in front of someone. But my biggest fear is one of Luka's biggest attributes to his game was his body, his ability to knock you off like Shea does to get that shot off. Now you're a little bit lighter in the ass. Are you going to be able to knock people back like you normally do to get that shot off? I know he's still crafty, but I'm really interested to see how that goes.
Now, yes, he's lost some of the weight, but I don't know how much he weighed before. And he looks like not only is he losing the weight, but my thing is, okay, lose the weight, but tone up. Don't just lose the weight, because we don't need you to lose the size. Yeah. We just wanted some of that fat to turn into muscle.
The baby fat.
Right. We need the endurance to
be a grown ass man. You guys baby fat.
Nah, ain't no baby fat. He just fat.
That's just fat. Yeah.
He just needed to transfer some of that fat over into muscle. Mm-hmm. And we all know muscle weighs more than fat. Yeah. So if he can, even if he's losing some of that weight but toning up, I don't need him to drop too much in weight, because like you said, Rob, I don't need him to be light in the ass to where he's being pushed around like a feather.
Mm-hmm. This man's in the best shape of his life. You both say he's light in the ass.
Well, no. Well, he is lighter. He looks lighter.
He looks lighter. He looks way lighter. That's mean he's going to be a little bit quicker. And so that's the whole point about him being in shape and staying and getting rid of the injuries. Because that when you out of shape, and we know every player that comes in the season out of shape always has problems. And so, you can go back to the days of Shaq, you go back to the days of, even AD when he came in out of shape, his back hurt for like 3 months. And so you gotta be in shape, and hopefully Luka can be in shape. But still though, I've heard a lot of people talking about now they're a contender. I'm like, just because Luka got in shape, that don't mean the whole damn team is in shape. Ain't gonna be better. It takes a team, not just one player.
I do find it hilarious that Shams got on the first plane he could find out to Slovenia to beat some reporter's ass for dropping that news in front of him, man. It's like, no, thank you. No Slovenian news reporter is going to trump me, bucko. I'm showing up. Do you think there's merit to it, though? You think he signed the extension? And even if he didn't, do you think he will?
Yes, I do think. Now, the only surprising thing to this about me is I thought he would have been a player to take the 3-year, a little less money, so then he can then re-up at 2028 to get even more money. Now, I'm not saying that the Lakers then around that time still won't offer him another extension, but for somebody who can still get a boatload of money for a year shorter, it does surprise me that if this report is true, that he wouldn't take the 3-year deal. I forget how much money the 3 years is worth, but then be able to go back to the table a lot quicker and get even more money. So I do believe it, but then at the same time, it's a little sketchy because from a business perspective, I'm wondering, I figure Luka would be a guy that want to get back to the negotiation table as quickly as possible.
Yeah, well, we don't know if it's an option there or not or whatnot. And we don't know if it's true. So For me, do I think he signed it? I don't think so. I think he's still waiting. He's back in L.A. right now. He's probably, there to try to sign it now and try to negotiate. Who knows? But if it was me, and I think I would go for the 3-year option just because, in the back of my mind, I want to be that first player that signs the $82 million contract. $82 million a year.
He won't be. He won't be.
Who won't? He won't be?
I'm going to tell you who will be.
You going to say Wemby?
Yeah.
Nope.
Oh, I thought for sure you were going to say Wemby.
I think I got somebody else in mind who may end up be the first one to sign that $80 million contract. He's in the West, though.
Somebody Ant-Man?
Yep.
That's not a bad idea. No, that's not.
It's either going to be him or Wemby, but it's going to be one of them that's going to be they're going to sign 80+ million before Luka will. In my opinion. Just saying.
All right. No, I can't argue with you. You very well could have a point there, but we'll see. We'll see how that shakes out. But I do think it's funny that the Slovenian news tried to break ahead of Shams. I wanted to briefly touch on the Kuminga story too. That's
a crazy story.
It's a crazy story because I think like everything I've seen on this is that like any move the Warriors are going to make are kind of hinging on what Jonathan Kuminga does, and he's kind of holding out. They're sort of at a stalemate, and I think the Warriors are kind of like handcuffed a little bit here because of this, because they don't want to go out and make a bunch of moves and then Kuminga comes back and then they're hamstring for salary and all this other crap. So I was just surprised by this, especially because Kuminga's a good player, but you figure that's got to be, that's the right situation for him, I think, unless he's just completely unhappy there.
If I'm him, I want out because I'm not going to do another year under Steve Kerr. The way you treated me last year.
Wow.
You think about it, the second leading scorer on that team, and all of a sudden the playoffs start, I can't sniff the floor, and all of a sudden you need me, I go out and perform. No, only way I'm staying in that camp is you give me everything I can get, max money. And then I want more. And because it was just Steve Kerr did him dirty. And Steve Kerr has been known to do players dirty. I'm talking about JT. And every NBA player has some type of pride. And why do I want to come back into a position? Yeah, I got more money. I got my money, but I want to fucking play. I don't want to be that guy saying, oh, he making all that money, because then fans will be shitting on me thinking it's something I did when it's not me at all. It's the coaching staff that won't put me on the floor. So if I'm him, I'm saying, okay, we can do a sign and trade or something of that nature, but I do not want to be here as long as Steve Kerr is the head coach. That's if I'm Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah,
Wow.
you gotta. I think if you're Kuminga, and I agree with Rob to a degree, you can't. I'm a guy that's showing a lot of promise. I'm young. I have a lot of athleticism. There's a lot of stuff that I can work on in my game. I have a lot of promise. But if I can't get any run during the most important time of the season, for whatever the reason may be, then I feel as though I'm just riding away over on the bench. Like, you got young talent just riding away over there on the bench. For what reason? And so if it's beef between Kuminga and Kerr for whatever reason to where he can't see the floor, then at some point in time, you got to figure out a way to get him somewhere where he can thrive. Now, does that mean that the Warriors want to trade him? I don't know. My thing is I'm trying to figure out what's been so difficult about you trying to trade him. What you want in return? Like
Probably.
It's just one of them situations where I'm kind of like, hey, you're either y'all reconcile and kind of figure out what the issue is, sign an extension, and y'all kind of fix your relationship and move forward, or you wipe your hands of this and figure out a way to get him out of there so that he can go somewhere where he can shine and he can thrive and do whatever he needs to do for his career. But this whole little situation here is weird, and I think it needs to come to some type of resolution soon. But that's easy for me to say because I'm not on either end of that spectrum.
Yeah, I think the sign and trade is the rumor now. That's realistically, if he wants out and they're going to have any kind of course forward, it's going to have to probably be a sign and trade. Just to make this work for him. But I don't know. I mean, I get your point, but I thought Golden State was probably the better spot for him. But I don't know. You guys make a good argument.
It probably is, but I don't know his relationship with Steve Kerr at this point.
It's not good.
I mean, obviously. I mean, he wouldn't be in the situation he's in if everything was sunshine and lollipops over there.
Mm-hmm.
So
if you really look at that Warriors lineup, they got a 6-7 team over there, and you get rid of Kuminga, it's not gonna make a difference because you got Buddy Hield who's up and down. You got Moses Moody who's up and down, and then I think I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Brandon Pazin.
I know what you're talking about.
That's who the guy for some odd reason they fell in love with, and Kuminga fell out of love with Kuminga. But it's gonna be interesting what they do because if you really, let's be honest, Draymond and Steph and Jimmy, they need help because if they don't get some type of help, that door is like this big now. It's like, okay, all three of us can't squeeze through there unless we get some help, And so I think to me, I would trade Kuminga because that's the only piece over there they got that they can probably get something to help that crew.
I did want to also mention this Jeff Teague story. I was there is nothing funnier than when somebody says some shit and then immediately has to run it back because he was like, oh, oops, I might have gotten myself in some hot water. He was on the Club 520 podcast. They were talking about the same debate we had on the shoot around last week. Cleveland LeBron versus Miami LeBron. And Miami LeBron became the topic of conversation. Jeff Teague had this to say.
Miami Heat Bron.
He was on steroids, bro. He had to sit out. He was on steroids for real.
Not give you
like legit was on steroids, bro. Allegedly, but he had to sit out. Bro, y'all remember when they told him
there goes the Clutch Sports allegations?
Y'all remember that though? No. But they was he got everybody. They started testing for HGH, and they was like, "Yo," and he had to sit out. He said his back was hurt, and he sat out for 3 weeks, and he came back skinny. This is just I was in the league. I remember.
I was in the league. I remember. So and then he immediately the next day went on Instagram and went, I was kidding. I was just messing around, man. I was serious about that.
Somebody got after him.
I think so.
Somebody said something.
I think so.
Somebody said something. You know good and well you can't sit up there. People talk about LeBron. People have been talking about LeBron ever since he came into the league, and they've said a lot of egregious things. But when you start referring to the longevity of his career and his health and attributing it to something like steroids, his team coming after you, they're going to say something. You're not going to do that. You can say whatever. You can dislike his game. You can say he's not number one. You can say he's not one of the greatest players of all time for all they care. But as soon as you start talking about anything that refers to his training or anything that you think is giving him some edge outside of his regular regimen, they finna come after you. And they said something to him.
Unless you were on that team and seen him getting a shot in the booty, you don't touch no shit like that.
No, you don't make allegations.
That episode of Dave Chappelle, I need eyewitnesses, I need video, I need my affidavit from your mama, I need all this for playing facial shit.
And I like Teague. I like the
I like Jeff
podcast.
Yeah.
They are hilarious. Jeff Teague is an amazing storyteller. but he got too much dip on his chip this one.
It's a little bit. But I guess when I heard, and too, when he walked it back, my question for you is, and I feel like I should know this and I kind of don't. What are like the drug testing policies for the NBA? Like, how often do you get tested? Do you have any kind of is there a regular regimen of testing, or is it certain guys that get singled out? Like, how's that work?
Well, there's certain guys. I'm only going to speak on the history that I know.
Of course.
And I know when we were there, we had 3 random drug tests. And back then they test you for weed. And of course, they don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Or 3/4 the league might not be playing.
More than that. Are you kidding me? We're tipping 90%, I think.
Yeah. And so, now they just test for PhDs. But with the PhDs, you don't know, when they're going to do it or where they're going to do it. And because you look at who just got suspended. It was a player who just got suspended for performance enhancement drugs. I don't know who it was, but
in the NBA?
Yeah, someone that, it wasn't anybody that would get a significant minutes, I don't think, but that's the only thing they test for. And it to me, this is one of those topics where, it goes back to the Bash Brothers and baseball. Why does it really matter what a guy takes to, if like his body, his life? Like, you don't follow a guy home, so you cannot drink. You don't follow a guy home and says, you cannot do, smoke weed. So I'm always like, if a guy wants to take something that's not illegal to help him on the floor, why should it fucking matter?
Well, usually, now, granted, when in baseball, these things work different for different sports. Mm-hmm. And specifically for a sport like baseball, where this has been kind of running rampant for as far as we can remember. It works for everybody's body different. Now, you still, like for hitters, you still got to hit the ball. Mm-hmm. It's not going to help your hand-eye coordination like that. Like, you still have to make contact. However, if it's giving you an edge when the ball makes contact with the bat, or there's something in your body that gives you a little bit more power, that's illegal. It's illegal. I mean, there's not many things that you can take that's not going to help, which is the reason why it's banned, because they don't want anybody thinking, hey, this guy is taking this substance. We don't know what it is. We don't know what it's doing to him. Now, it is your body, but when you sign on that dotted line and you sign these contracts, you're just not affecting you. You're now affecting the organization, and now you're affecting the league. Mark McGuire can tell you all about that.
But my whole point is like, when Sammy Sosa and the Bash Brothers, how hype was MLB?
Oh, it's amazing for the league.
Yeah, it was at its highest peak ever when that was going on.
Yeah, it's amazing for the league. I'm not knocking it for the league. Everybody, like the whole concept of the chicks dig the long ball, we all love that. Like Greg Maddux and Tom Glavine were in the commercial. They even took to the point where they want to start hitting.
I know, but my whole point is like, I should be allowed to do with my body whatever I want to do. If I want to take this to make myself better, why not?
Because you're cheating.
But if it's not illegal for me to take it, and like not when it comes to, I'm like, if the government doesn't come and say, yo, that cocaine is illegal, that whatever it is illegal, why can't I take it? Because all I'm doing is trying to make myself be the best athlete I can be, and it should be my choice.
So,
go ahead.
But what does that say to somebody? For me, Ken Griffey Jr. is my favorite baseball player of all time, and I know you like Ken Griffey as well.
Love it. Mm-hmm.
If Ken Griffey became the home run king, Ken Griffey would have no one to stand against him to say, you know what, that's the home run king. You know why? Because we never heard of Ken Griffey taking any substance or anything illegal. Ken Griffey did it by his swing. He did it by his mechanics. We've never known him to be in anything that cheated the game. Right, so what does that mean for guys like him, who he's 6 all time on the home run list and did it clean?
All right, let's back this thing up here. All right, now you go back to, let's say, Babe Ruth, who was one of the top home run hitters, right?
Right. Now
you get to a point where you can't tell me Ken Griffey didn't take some type of vitamin, some type of creatine, some type of that's enhancing your body too. So now you can't. Everybody that uses, okay, that even if you put in anti-inflammatory so you can be on the field, that's enhancing your body. You see where I'm going with this? Because you're still doing things to your body that ain't natural. It ain't coming from eating steak all day or drinking raw eggs. It's coming from some type of creatine, some type of other thing, that some supplement that you putting in your body to make you get back out there faster and make you a little bit stronger. So what is the difference in, because one supplement is illegal and one supplement isn't illegal in the major league sports?
Well, I get that there are some things that you take. It's kind of like people who work out, they take pre-workout. They kind of help them through the workout and things of that nature. I understand those things. But pre-workout is not making this person stronger. It's not. If I
yes,
one
it
day,
is.
Not really, because
it's giving you the energy to get in there and put in that work.
Yes.
Since you're putting in that work, your muscles are getting stronger. Your muscles are getting endurance. So it's the same thing.
But Rob, if me taking pre-workout, if the day before I couldn't lift 225 and I take pre-workout is not going to help me lift 225. I'm still not going to be able to lift 225. The problem with baseball and HGH and steroids is it's enhancing the size of players, not from a natural standpoint, that's giving them more power to hit home runs. Like I said, for the fans, it's great. We love it.
All right. Now we're gonna run this to, and then we're gonna get off this stuff. Now you're gonna sit up here and tell me that Luka is not taking something, and I mean like he's taking like a creatine, or he's taking a supplement, some type of supplement.
I know what he's taking.
Slavian chicken.
He's taking Slavian chicken.
So my whole point is like, this is one of the things, and let me get wrong, only thing I ever took was creatine when I played, and then I had an injury that was a result of creatine. I got off that shit quick, fast, and hurry. So my only point is, like, if a player wants to make himself better for his sport, and it's not an illegal drug in the eyes of, he should be allowed to do it, And I know, like, trust me, I don't want my balls or my dick to shrink up or my acne on my back. I ain't gonna do that shit. But
damn, right to the worst possible scenario.
Sport that much.
They start calling you Little Shot Rob.
Wow, that's crazy. Hey, now that part, that's beyond sports. That's a life decision. That's something you got to deal with for the rest of your life. That's bigger than sports.
Yeah.
Or
it's littler.
I do think you're right. Exactly. That's funny. You're funny. I do, because I think obviously it goes back to what's illegal versus what's not illegal. And these leagues have seen enough, tested enough, have consulted with physicians and doctors. You got all this money to be able to consult to determine, hey, this is illegal. This is okay. This is on the line. So this may be something that you don't want your guys to, like, they've done this stuff. So I do get what you're saying. If it's not illegal, if it's not something that's illegal and it helps you to just become a better athlete, cool. I guess my mind went to, especially with baseball, guys taking things that may be on the borderline or are illegal, because some guys don't even know it's illegal, but they show no mercy when it comes to that, because they're like, well, you can consult. We have people who you can consult to figure that out. We have people.
But here's the still though, you might get bigger, but your hand-eye coordination still got to be a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah,
but it's the same in the NBA too, right? Like, I mean, you can be back on the floor. It doesn't help you shoot a basketball in the NBA. You know what I mean, you still got to get that ball in the hoop. For what it's worth, ChatGPT, my new best friend, said that the last PED suspension in the NBA was Jonte Porter, even though that was technically chalked up to gambling. And before that, it was Matu for the Suns. He lost 5 games for NBA anti-drug program. So not a lot of guys.
You rarely see that in the NBA.
No, not really at all. Not at all.
Really see that in the NBA.
And again, the Jonte Porter one was more gambling, but they said there was PEDs lopped into that too. So who knows?
The only thing been out there on the boat is Luka weight and Jonathan. That's the only thing that's really been.
Those are the two I've seen all over the place. I did want to.
Since I live in LA, Chris Paul,
All right, well, let's talk about Chris Paul. There was this argument that popped up this week. I think it was Perkins who started this. Chris Paul, obviously the point guard. We've been known as that for a long time. Kendrick Perkins said he isn't putting Chris Paul in the same tier as guys like Russell Westbrook. Quote, I don't have him ranked above Westbrook. He said this on Road Trippin', by the way. CP changes franchises. He makes teams better. But when it comes to legacy, you've got to have the accolades. Chris Paul obviously never won an MVP. Westbrook did. I feel like that's kind of really a tough thing to say when you go, who would you put ahead of the other? But I guess if you had to pick one of those two guys, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Before Chris Paul got to the Clippers, how many 50-win seasons did they have?
Not a lot, would be my guess.
So Chris Paul spent 6 seasons with the Clippers. He was a 5-time NBA All-Star. I forgot how many all NBA teams he made. They had at least 3 or 4 50-win seasons while he was there. No disrespect to Russ, because I'm going to tell you something about Russ. When Russ was there in OKC with Durant and those guys, there are times where I feared Russ more than I feared Durant. From a point guard perspective, him and Derrick Rose were the most athletic things at point guard we had ever seen. Like the explosiveness, just the determination that they had. You had never seen that at the point guard position. But I don't ever remember, and I'm not saying that Russ has never been a part of this, but Russ elevating his team the way Chris Paul elevated his team.
To your point, the Clippers did not have a 50-win season before Chris Paul got there. The best they had was 2005. They had 47 and 36. That was with the Elton Brand team.
Yeah.
So after Chris Paul, they had multiple 50-win seasons. That's all it says.
The reason, I just think from a prototypical point guard perspective, now I think Russ is a better defender. I think from an aggressive standpoint, Russ is a better defender. We all know from a body standpoint, Russ is just much more stout. But we've seen Chris Paul on numerous occasions take franchises who wasn't about nothing, and with his court general concept that he brings to the floor, turn them into competitors. The Clippers being one of them. So I get that Russ has the MVP, but Chris Paul has changed franchises, or he's turned franchises around. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Good point.
I think when you have to pick one of those guys, if you had to pick one, you can't go wrong with either one, and you're gonna win with them. I think what people like best about Chris Paul is he's been consistent. And his ability to his mid-range shot, whereas Russ is suspect, his 3-point where Russ, and that's the way it boils down to. Now you think about on the defensive end, Russ is a little better on the defensive end. So you're gonna get the good with the bad. It all has to boil down to what kind of team you have. And for me, if you're gonna put a gun down my head and make me pick one, I'm gonna pick Chris Paul, and that's not a slap in Russ's face and not a diss to Russ. I just like the fact that mid-range jumper and the consistency that Chris Paul has is what I favor. And plus, you think about it, they both are great assist guys, so they both equal each other out in that sense. But I think if you really had to nitpick, I take Chris Paul just because of the consistency in his jump shot, which is the most important thing when it comes to the game nowadays, your ability to knock down shots.
I'm also going to throw Chris Paul a little bit of credit, too, for always – and Russ has found this later in his career, but no matter where Chris has gone, he's found a way to fit the role that best helped the team. I feel like Russ struggled with that with the Lakers. He fell into it a little bit better with the Nuggets. You know what I mean? Like, he's sort of figuring it out as his career goes on. But Chris Paul, I feel like from wherever you dropped him, whether it was Phoenix or Houston, whatever it was, whatever the best role was for the team – and even for the younger guys around him to succeed, I feel like he kind of conformed to that a lot quicker.
Do you guys think because he's bounced around a lot late in his career that this has kind of diminished on who he is as a player and what he's brought to the game? Because, you think about, we don't talk about Shaq like we should because at the end of his career, he bounced for 4 teams. Mm-hmm. And most of the time when players stay with a team, we love them. You think about Dirk, Kobe, Dream and all these guys. But as you think about it, he was really good in New Orleans. He was really good with the Clippers. He was okay in Houston, okay, good in Phoenix, okay. And I know the injuries had a lot to do with it, but does this diminish who he is as a player? Because when you consider great, because think about it, KD is kind of rolling into that, where he was so great, now he's bouncing different teams. We kind of look at him like, oh, you can't stay on one team. What's wrong with you? You know, so, and even though we don't get any reports of him being an asshole or being a guy who's, you know, disgruntled, but will that diminish his, I'm Chris Paul, will that diminish who he is as a player?
Well,
he's been disgruntled as a player.
Well, there have been, I mean, you take whoever's calling him an asshole with a grain of salt, because that could be for whatever reason.
Oh, he's an asshole now.
Yeah, we've had plenty of players come out and say that's on the floor.
Yeah, hey, ain't nothing wrong with having an asshole. Right. I was an asshole on the floor. So you can be an asshole and still be a good person.
Yeah.
But I just don't. And like I said, there's no disrespect to Russ, because Russ has had a hell of a career. Plus, he has the MVP that Chris Paul doesn't. But which is crazy to think that Chris Paul doesn't have an MVP with how successful his career was.
Yeah.
But I don't remember Russ. He had KD and he had Harden, but I don't remember Russ once Russ went somewhere elevating a team the way Chris Paul did. Like Chris Paul he helped bring the Clippers out from the little basement, and they were more competitive than the Lakers were during that time. So, now that says a lot about them, that the Lakers were in the dump and the Clippers still couldn't do nothing. That's their problem. But
that's a Clippers issue.
Right, it's a Clippers. But to have multiple 50-win seasons after they never had any in their career, you said the closest they had was 47, 48?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 47 the year that Elton Brand was there.
2005.
Yep.
So I think that speaks volumes for a guy that makes everybody else better and enhances everybody else's game. I'm not saying that Russ doesn't do that, but I am saying that Chris Paul did it in a prototypical point guard-ish type of way, where he elevated not only guys around him, but he elevated that franchise.
Yeah. No, you got a point. Very good points. Well, listen, while we're on Westbrook, I briefly wanted to bring this up. Where do you think he's going to land? There's a handful of teams that are the front runners, and I'm going to give them to you, and I'm just curious what you guys think. The Miami Heat, the Kings, the Bucks, and then the underdog pick here is the Pistons. This is according to betting websites. These are your front runners.
He fit in. From an attitude standpoint, he fit in with the Pistons real well.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't dislike that though. Detroit, even though that's the underdog pick, I don't hate that, but he'd have to find the right role amongst that group and not upset the chemistry.
Yeah. If I'm Russ, I will go to Miami.
Okay.
Just because the fact that Miami ain't got shit, and they need some type of engine to make that team go.
Maybe
well, hold on, Rob.
Even if he's coming off the bench,
But the only way you're okay with that is if you're sure. Do you think that Russ is off this? Maybe I can get a title run. Let me go join a team that's a contender of some sort that I could possibly help get over the hump. Do you think he's done with that thought process?
I think the title teams are done with him.
Okay.
And it's a difference where you gotta, even though you're a great player, you gotta be wanted. If the title teams don't want you, you got to go somewhere else where, hey, I'm just going to play and have some fun. You think about what Dame did. He said, fuck it. So, still at the end of the day, you want to get them that paycheck. And we're better place in it with no state tax in Miami, Florida.
There it is. Put on your shirt, no state tax. I don't dislike him at the Heat. I don't necessarily know about the Kings. The Bucks, maybe because Dame is out of there now.
Who's the Bucks point guard, though? They don't have point guard, do they?
I don't even know. That's a great question. KGP? KPJ? I mean, I don't. Hold on, let me see.
But think about it. Isn't Giannis and Russ the same players? Just a shorter version. Because if you think about it, they're wiry, they're long, they're athletic, they're not great three-point shooters, they're not great shooters, but they can fucking score and play good defense. They're the same player, just one is bigger.
ChatGPT immediately kicks back Damian Lillard. No, sorry, man. He's not your point guard anymore.
I think he should try to go to the Pistons. I think he could be a really good mentor for guys on that squad. Now, you got to hope that And who was the coach over there? JB Bickerstaff?
Yes.
Lord Jesus, you better hope that he ain't got to have to break up no fights amongst the guys there.
Well,
Hey, you really want to put Russ and Isaiah on the court? I mean,
Maybe they like each other. Maybe they'd be cool.
Hey, they gonna fight. They not them fighting each other, but they gonna fight every night. Team's gonna walk in like, nah, I'm hurt tonight, coach. I ain't fucking playing.
Sorry, load management. I need a night off. Malik Beasley and a couple other dudes there.
Please, Malik Beasley might not be in the league.
I know.
Yeah.
They're thin. Is the point here? Is they're thin in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
All right, let's touch on a couple other quick things. Then we're gonna do big shot of the week, and then we're gonna play our game. I thought this was pretty interesting. I like Dwayne Wade a lot. I like him as a personality. I like the stuff he talks about, and he had this one. He brought this one up this week I think it was on his podcast, about legacy being built on championships. He was talking specifically about Dame Lillard. And I'll play this clip for you and just kind of get your thoughts on it.
With Dame, legacy in the NBA will be way bigger than the championship. And I think every player that comes to this league, legacy is not just built on winning a championship. And we got to stop doing that. Yes, if you're one of the greatest, if you want to be on that top 75, you want to be on that up there with the GOATs, yes, championships are a part of this game. But that doesn't mean every player that comes through that is great at this game has to walk away with a championship for their legacy to be stamped. And so Dame, to me, is one of those players that if he never sniffs a championship, it doesn't change the fact that Dame is a bad motherfucker. Yeah. And his legacy in Portland is stamped. And what he do from this point on is even more legacy building.
So his point being, Dame never wins a title. Dame's legacy's in the books. And I think that's probably true of a lot of players. And immediately during this conversation, whose name comes up? Robert Horry.
I mean, it's a few guys.
Robert Horry's name. Immediately, people start kicking back the whole, whose career would you rather have? Would you rather have Harden's money or Rob's titles? It immediately comes back to that, and it never fails. And look, you know, I think this is a hard argument to have, too. Because I feel like there are guys, and we have plenty of them, right? Ewing, Barkley, Reggie Miller, whose legacies are stamped regardless of whether they win a title or not. And their greatness doesn't really come into question. It's just kind of the one thing missing on their Hall of Fame resume. Not that they even really need it. And I don't think Lillard needs to win a title to be able to say, well, look at my career, and I also had a title. No, I think to Dwayne's point, your career is kind of in the books. It's stamped.
Yeah.
But that's not to say everything inside of him has got to want to be able to call it a career with a title. Isn't that just in your nature as a player?
I definitely think so, because at the end of the day, you want to win. And the ultimate win is to get a Larry O. And everything else is uncivilized, and that's how it really
everything else is Grey
down.
Poupon, baby.
Yeah. And for me, you got a lot of guys who don't care about winning champions. They just care about getting paid. And that's just the mentality. I tell you, I could have got more money if I'd have left San Antonio, but I wasn't about money. I was about winning. And everybody's mental is different. You think I wouldn't trade like 4 of my rings for James Harden money? You damn skippy I would.
Right, but you still have 3 in your pocket, so you're doing okay.
But at the end of the day, I like the fact that I won. Of course I didn't make as much money as a lot of these guys, but the competitor in me wants to win. You think about it, 16 seasons, 7 chips. That's pretty damn good. And then I made a lot of damn money. I ain't make fucking, money that a lot of these guys make, but I made fucking damn good money.
But you played in a different era,
That's absolutely what I was just going to say. You would have to adjust for inflation at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And for me, is you can ask every great player and that's retired, and I guarantee you, every one of them will say they wish they would have won a championship. Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah, of course.
So I think that's the one thing. Because you think about it, there is no debate on who's the greatest. There's no debate on who's the top 3. Kobe, LeBron. There's no debate on that. And if 3 of them, if those guys would never won a championship, we'd be like, oh, Kareem is the greatest of all time. Bill Russell's the greatest of all time. Because at the end of the day, if you don't win, you're not successful. You can be as great as you want, But if you don't win, and I know a lot of people hate this, you fail. And that's how it is. If you don't win a championship, you fail. And failure is not a bad thing. That means you tried to be your best at something, but someone was a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, you can speak on this better than I can because, you've been a part of those winning teams. You've seen guys who are in the Hall of Fame walk off the court with their head down plenty of times, at the hands of you or at the hands of your teammates. So this is one of those conversations that's really kind of difficult to have because it's almost, yes, winning is the goal. Winning is the goal. Establishing generational wealth for your family is the goal too, especially the way they're throwing around money these days. But a lot of these guys, whether they want to they still do have a legacy. Reggie Miller still has a legacy. Yes, we're going to know him as we've seen some of the big shots that he's hit, and we're also going to always know him as one of the guys that couldn't win one because of Michael Jordan. Same way with Patrick Ewing, the same way with a lot of guys, but we also know that they're in the Hall of Fame.
Well, Ewing was Rob's fault.
Well, yeah, that was Dream's fault.
Hashtag blame Robert Horry.
Yeah, but they saw Mike a few times too.
They did. No, yeah,
they couldn't get
Reggie a few times too.
They did.
Yeah.
So it's just sometimes it's the way the dice rolls and the way the cookie crumbles. Sometimes where a lot of these guys are gonna have legacies. They're gonna go down as some of the greatest players of all time. They're part of the 75 greatest players of all time, but they just weren't able to stand at the top of the mountain to hoist the Larry O'Brien. But they still do have legacies. It's like those different wings people talk about in the Hall of Fame. Like, all of them in the Hall of Fame, but there may be different wings and different tiers where there are different tables. Mm-hmm. We all in, we can all kiki, but when we all walk into that thing, hey, y'all at that table over there. Y'all won one, y'all at that table over there. All of us who's won 3, 4 and up, y'all come with me.
Hey, no, and the ones who won back-to-back, y'all at the table over the The back-to-back, that's the big table. That's the big dog table. Then you got the three-peat. That's the real big dog table right there.
Yeah.
Dog,
that's the hall of hot shit over there. You gotta go sit in the three-peat wing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's different, I think, man. Everybody should, did you win a title? No, that isn't staying on your name, but it's weird. They're Hall of Famers. A lot of these guys are Hall of Famers, and they have successful careers, and you can't take that from them.
No, of course not. But I think Dwayne's point was we have to stop building legacy around titles. And it's like, I mean,
you can't do that, though.
Right? And that's just it. It's like, and that's easy. By the way, and I'm not trying to take a shot at Dwayne Wade. That's easy to say for someone who's won 3 rings. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy when you have 3 in your pocket to go, well, we don't need to be championship driven in this league. Well, yeah, because you won 3. If you never won a ring, your perspective might be drastically different.
Go talk to Barkley.
Yeah, let's have this conversation with Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, and all the guys who are in the Hall of Fame. Westbrook, who have had legendary careers and have great legacies in the NBA, and that's not going to change anything about them. But you all know, I mean, what's the one thing Shaquille will just dump on Chuck about constantly? You ain't ever won a ring. It's just the one thing you can kind of dangle over that guy's head. Regardless of how great his legacy is, it's always something.
Yeah. I think if that one question, and would love to get the truth out of him, would be presented to Steve Nash. I would love to see a guy who's won 2 MVPs but not win a championship. I would love to say, answer that question right there. How meaningful would it have been to your career to have won a championship?
And I can't imagine anybody's honestly gonna look at you and say, "I'm fine. I didn't need a title. I'm good." Like, everybody who didn't win one is gonna go, "Oh my God, it was like the one thing I didn't get to do that I wanted to do the entire time I played in the league." Put all the money aside, put everything aside, every one of them. And if they say anything different, they're lying straight to your face, man. They just are.
Well, they might not be lying. They don't give a shit. They accomplished their goal to make it to the NBA and make a bunch of money. That might have been their goal.
And but still, but if you're playing at a professional level and you have that kind of a career, if you have a Steve Nash career, you know that still eats him up. You know it does. It has to. All right, let's do Big Shot of the Week and let's play the game this week. Big Shot of the Week is going to go to a woman named Vivian Newton. And here's why. She's the owner of Korea House Restaurant in Austin, Texas. On the first Wednesday of every single month, they are, by the way, the first authentic Korean barbecue restaurant in Austin. They open their doors and they feed whoever walks in for free. On the first Wednesday of every single month. The kitchen staff volunteer their time, as do the front of house staff. They have served 15,000 meals as of last week for free. The owners, who recently had to start dipping into their own savings to continue the tradition, they say, we're not rich, but when we share with others, God will always provide better things somehow. If we have to close down, we'll close down. But until then, we're going to keep doing this for our community. Tips and donations are often accepted. They're not expected, but they pool the donations they do get for the homeless. So even on top of that, they're doing above and beyond. Big shot of the week to these folks.
Absolutely.
Because they're willing to close their doors rather than give up helping their community. And, dude, that's an impossible ask for a business owner. And the fact that they're willing to keep doing it out of goodwill and knowing that God will provide, that's amazing.
Yeah, you're doing things for the greater good and not just for something that benefits you. And that's what sacrifice and that's what, love for your fellow man looks like, is sometimes you're putting yourself and your needs on the back burner to benefit other people. And that's where a lot of your blessings come from, is when you're looking out for other people. Yeah. They'll be taken care of and they'll be fine. They'll receive everything they ever thought tenfold, more than they could ever receive, because of their willingness to pour back into the community.
I know next time I'm in Austin, I'm going to go by there and
eat for free?
No. Go by there and, support. That's what you got to do.
Throw some love. Yeah.
Throw some money that way.
Well, I mean, the next time you're in town, I know
because it's a lot of selfishness in this world. So
you
have stuff like that going on, and you have that beacon of light out there, and you always want to continue to give back to them as they give to other people.
And knowing too, there's people in your community who can't afford a meal, and you're just like, all right, well, come by on the first Wednesday of every month because food's free. Dude, that's unbelievable. That really is incredible. So just big shot of the week to those beautiful people in Austin, Texas. All right, here's this week's game. And I found the coolest stat this week. And it's going to be question number 1 in this week's game. The game is called Us Against Everyone. And it talks about stuff that only a limited amount of people have gotten to do against every team in their respective league. And here was the stat. Tony Parker is only one of 2 NBA players with a winning record against all 30 NBA teams. The other one is still playing, Robert Horry. And we'll go back and forth until one of you gets it right, or we'll just bail on the question if no one gets it right. Who's the other one?
My obvious pick would have to be LeBron.
It's not LeBron James.
I know it's not him.
He knew it was wrong before he said it.
I know this is wrong.
It's too obvious.
Yeah.
Harp, who is the only other player besides Tony Parker? He's still playing in the league, who has a winning record against all 30 NBA teams.
This is somebody that's played for a while, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Let me think of another star. He's still playing. I'm going to think of not a random star, but I'm going to say Kawhi Leonard.
Bingo. Bango. Kawhi Leonard. 72% of all of his games that he's played in the NBA, he's won. 72.6%.
The motherfucker don't ever play.
Well, when you only play 10 games a season, it's easy to keep that record alive, baby. Easy to keep that record going. All right, Harper, and we'll see if you can get this, and if not, Rob gets a shot at it. LeBron James is the first NBA player to ever score 40-plus points against all 30 NBA teams. Who's the only other player to do it? He's still playing, by the way. 40 plus against every team.
I think this is a trick question.
It is not a trick question. LeBron is one. Who's the other?
I thought LeBron was the only one who did this. And he's still playing.
Still playing?
Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durant is the answer. Kevin Durant has accomplished the feat as of last season.
You would have think Jordan or Kobe would have did that too.
Yeah, really. No, they weren't even on the list, which is crazy. All right, Robert Horry. Let's go over to the NFL. There are 4 guys, who who've thrown a touchdown pass against every NFL team. We're taking Tom Brady out of the equation. He's the obvious answer. For 1 point each, how many of the other 3 can you name? Quarterbacks who've thrown a touchdown pass against every NFL team.
Is Peyton Manning one?
That is one.
I'm gonna say somebody like crap. What's the fucking guy for the 49ers? Shit. Joe
Montana is not one. No. That's
Okay.
Harp. 2 to go.
I think you got to start thinking of guys who are top of the touchdown list. I'm gonna say Drew Brees.
Drew Brees is one. Absolutely correct. Good job. And then there's one more on the list. Can you get him, Harper?
And he's still
No,
playing?
he's not still playing. No. He's just one of the 4 guys who've thrown a touchdown against every team. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and
He's not still playing.
he's not playing. No, he's been retired for a minute.
I can't. It's not Phillip Rivers, is it?
It's not Phillip Rivers. No. Rob, any guess here?
I'm gonna go with someone like what's the dude that's the announcer now? Crap. Played for the Cowboys.
Tony Romo?
Troy Aikman.
Oh, Troy Aikman? No, it's not. Neither Tony Romo nor Troy Aikman have thrown a touchdown against every NFL team.
Okay, can you give us a hint? Did he play in the AFC or NFC?
He played in the NFC. He has been in the news in the last few years for all the wrong reasons.
Oh, shit.
Oh, Brett Favre.
There you go. It's Brett Favre. Yeah. Good job. All the wrong reasons my boy Brett Favre's been in the news, man.
Brett Favre. I don't know
you
why
what.
I didn't think of him before.
All right, Harper. Of those 4 guys on that quarterbacks list, we named all 4 of them. Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Brett Favre, Tom Brady. They are 4 of the 5 quarterbacks in NFL history who have a win against all 32 NFL teams. Who's the 5th one?
Oh, I think I know this one. I think I saw this before. I think it's Aaron Rodgers.
It is Aaron Rodgers, you son of a bitch. You're right. Yeah, very good.
I think I saw
Good
this
job.
one
It is Aaron
before.
Rodgers. All right, Rob. Last question. Staying in football, there's only one player in NFL history who has scored a touchdown against every NFL team. Who is it?
Oh, shit. Cam Newton.
It's not Cam. To scored a touchdown, not threw a touchdown. No, it's
You
not.
forget he scored a touchdown.
He didn't. But dog, you know how many rushing touchdowns he would need?
And against every team, he'd have to play. Yeah.
Hey, you gotta throw some shit off the wall sometimes.
Okay.
See, this is where you start thinking of pass catchers.
Correct.
And not just any pass catchers. You start thinking of the top pass catchers in NFL history. So I'm going to start thinking of guys who I have in my big 3 or big 4. And I'm going to pull one of them out of the hat.
You got
and
to.
one of them is a fan of, and the one I'm thinking of is a fan of this show. And his name is Terrell Owens.
Son of a bitch. Good job. Very good. Terrell Owens, the only guy up there who has scored You did good at that.
My next pick was going to be Julio Jones.
Julio
Hell
Jones.
No. The gripe around Julio Jones is that he never got to the end zone enough.
Yeah. The Falcons would get him down to the 5 and then hand it off.
Julio don't have anywhere near 100 career touchdown catches.
Yes, Mom. I'm doing an interview.
Tough go.
Whose thing is that?
This is mine. I'm doing an interview.
It's okay, Mama. Hi.
I know. I bought you a single.
Okay, thank you.
What did she do? What'd she bring you?
She brought me a sandwich.
Oh, God bless your mother.
Yeah.
Oh, God bless that woman. She brought you in the middle of the podcast. She brings you a sandwich. Oh, man. Dude, that's the best, man.
And you know why she can interrupt your podcast? Because you in her house.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Do whatever she wants. There's no interruption. That's brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
It's my house. I pay for this shit.
Wow.
Hold on, wait.
That door better be closed, baby. That door
Mama!
Hey,